Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to At a Time, your South African source for fantasy Premier League knowledge and football knowledge. Mike, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. It's sun's not even out yet properly, but
Nice haircut.
buzz cut are ready for the war.
Yeah,
The war against FPL.
The graft for points, the grind for Premier League points.
Yeah, we're in it to win it. Yeah, at a time.
Yeah. Before we get into it, I just want to quickly do a plug for our Twitter account at Added Time FPL. Go follow us there. We do live match updates on the weekend. We post our teams, post any questions and polls. So hang out with us. Let us know what you think of the podcast on that platform as well.
And every time there's a red card, I'll just post another DJ
word.
Khaled.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone knows the exact stats, but I saw something like the crazy amount of red cards that's happened over the last while. It is insane. Absolutely insane.
Let's get into the weekend. Let's chat about what happened. There's actually quite a bit to talk about. You want to start with the Liverpool game? What do you think happened? The Liverpool-Newcastle game. I'm going to just say Newcastle should have won that game, flat out. I don't know what happened. They were a man down early. I'm sure we'll talk about it now, but yeah, lead us out. Tell us what you think.
So, this game proved two things to me. Number one, Newcastle and Eddie Howe are not there yet. Because they were good enough to hold City, but not good enough to go all the way. They were good enough to take the lead against Liverpool and make Liverpool look not as good, but they just couldn't finish it. So the question now becomes, if this is what they like before the Champions League starts, from an FPL point of view, how do we trust their assets are going to actually maintain the form that they had last season? And if you look for FPL reasons, if you look at their fixtures, there is a massive swing coming up. Right now, their next two fixtures between the international break is our two, I don't know what to call these two teams, Brighton and Brentford. These underdog teams of Brentford and Brighton.
Well, that's the combination. Teams. It's
Yeah.
Brightford.
Brightford, yeah. But after that, Sheffield, Burnley, West Ham, Crystal Palace, Wolves. Can you think of a better run of fixtures? No, you can't. Right?
No.
That run of 5 fixtures. So a lot of people are punting Trippier. I don't know where you're going to find that money for him in the defense, 6.5 million. But people are punting, now is the time to pop onto Trippier after that, those two tricky games. So I'm not bringing in a Trippier now, just like I'm not bringing in a Brighton now.
Yeah, well, we spoke about it last week, is that you shouldn't, if you don't have any Brighton assets now, you shouldn't bring in any because of the fixture run that Brighton have. Could this be the start? Do you think Newcastle finally gets their 3 points that they've been fighting for against Brighton? Or do you think Brighton hold out?
That's what I say. It could go any way, because I don't know which team is gonna pop up. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was putting my money down, I'm putting it on Brighton, because as much as I hate Brighton because of what they did with the whole Chelsea and the transfers and selling us Marco Cucurella and all of that nonsense that we've done with them, as much as all of that, Brighton is fire. Matoma is fire. The Zerbi is fire. And you see that they've just been linked with a new player.
No, they signed him.
Did they sign him?
Ansu Fati.
Yes.
From Barcelona.
Is it go through?
I think it's official. I think we got a year ago early on. Yeah. Ansu Fati will travel to England in less than an hour. This was 2 hours ago from when this podcast was recorded, which is 2 p.m. UK time. Brighton will cover 80% of his salary. Loan agreement reached with Barcelona. There we go.
But does he impact Matoma at all in a positive or negative way? Something to think about and look forward into the future.
Yeah, it's Matoma and March, eh?
Yeah. Matoma, March, Gross.
On the wings.
All of those guys. Yeah, Gross a little bit more centrally. Okay, so we're not going. We've already said stay clear of Brighton for a little bit. If you have them, keep them. There's no need to sell them, but if you don't have them, I'm not going for Matoma.
Don't necessarily go out of your way to get a Brighton asset right now.
Okay, but Liverpool, please, I need your help. Everybody out there, particularly Nate the Great, what is
Well,
going on with
before we go
Salah?
to Nate the Great, Mr. Mike over here scored a whopping 72 points this past week.
Thank you very much.
I
It's not
scored a
very good.
measly average of 55. So man closed the gap quite a bit. It was definitely your Gusto pick that and your Maddison pick that you jumped on the train. But I'll talk about my ideas for Maddison later. Back to your Liverpool problem.
Tell me what to do with Salah. Is he going to Saudi? He's 12.5 million, and I want to sell him.
Liverpool looked like they lost it, like they washed, you know? But then they still came back and beat Newcastle. So it's like, what is it? But then also, Salah assist, but like Nunez needs to start, man. That kid's fire. Why is Klopp not starting Nunez? Jota as well. As soon as Jota and Nunez came on the field, the whole Liverpool like team mentality on the field changed.
Is Salah worth 5 points every game week? Because he's consistent. He's scored
No,
5
I
points
think if
every week.
Salah
He
was
didn't
an
blank.
I think if Salah was an 8 million fielder, he would be worth it. The fact that he's 12.5. No, I'd get rid of him. I think there are better returns that you can get for that value.
Jota and Diaz. We've had this debate before. I said Diaz.
Well,
and
the
you
thing is
agreed with me.
now, yeah, I did, but now I'm worried because Diaz was the first person to come off the field when that red card happened at 30 minutes. So Salah didn't. You see, so
And Liverpool looked better when Jota came on, as you just said.
yeah.
So,
And Nunez
but
goes and scores 2 goals within 10 minutes to win the game.
yeah, come on, that was his fire, right?
You can't
That
ask for a
was
better substitute. Like that moment was insane. But that makes you think: does Klopp start Nunez now?
I've always thought it depends on the opponent that Liverpool are playing and whether they start him. And this week Liverpool are playing Aston Villa. So Aston Villa are a team that attack quite well. They're not a sit back and defend type of team.
Yeah,
So you wanna have lots of high pressing players. Nunez isn't necessarily a high pressing player, but Jota and Diaz are.
yeah,
So I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't start. However, at the same time, you should really be rewarding a player for coming on and saving your game
yeah,
with a start.
yeah,
And
for
seeing
sure.
if he can. So it could go either way, but from an FPL point of view, we're not bringing him in because there's better forwards, right?
Yeah, if you don't have him, don't make an effort to get him unless you have the transfers and funds to play with your team.
Okay, but back to Salah.
Mm.
Is he going to Saudi Arabia?
Oof.
Am I selling that 12.5 million? Do you think this game week Salah scores more or less points than Mbuemo, for example, or Sterling, for example, for other people who could bring Sterling in? Look at Liverpool's fixtures after Villa, after the international break. They got Wolves, West Ham, then Spurs, Brighton, and then an amazing run.
What's Bournemouth? Bournemouth. The Spurs beat Bournemouth. Arsenal beat Bournemouth.
Yep.
And then they drew to West Ham. So if we're going purely off assumptions and what I think Brentford's a better team at the moment than West Ham, if not they're equal. So technically they should draw or better Bournemouth. I don't know if Bournemouth know what they're doing at the moment with their football. It seems a bit all over the show. I would back a Mbuemo score. And again, he's also on penalties. So, again, you can say Salah's also on penalties, but
Salah missed a penalty.
Well, yeah, that's true. So did Haaland. Oh, shit. What a weekend, hey? Yes, see. What's going on? Look.
Okay, so to wrap that up, like
you take out Salah. I think it's time to get rid of him because he's going to start decreasing. There's better assets to use for that money, and he might go to Saudi. I mean, no one allows negotiations with Saudi if you don't think about going to Saudi.
So sell Salah, but bring him back maybe game week 9, because game week 9,
if he's still around,
the fixtures. Yeah, if he's still around.
But yes, I would look at doing something like that. Yeah,
because Everton, Forest, and Luton, that is Salah
smells
captain.
like points. Yeah.
That's Salah captain fixtures, all
Yeah.
three of them.
Yeah.
The captain is Salah. So I might bring out Salah for Buemo, but that is a hot take for me.
Well, just for insight, my vice this week will probably be in Buemo. So that sways your decision, sways anyone else's decision.
Villa, some decent players, but no one really that we would pull in. We've spoken about Brighton and Matoma. Brighton lost finally to West Ham. Thank goodness. A juggernaut. And West Ham were top of the table. West Ham are probably the team to watch. They're the team that impressed me this week. I don't know about you, what's the team impressed you, but West Ham are on fire. Antonio's goal. Do yourselves a favor, people out there, go and find the goal and see how he shrugged everybody off and scored that goal. And this guy is someone who played left back, right back, left wing, right wing, and now he's playing striker. He's wearing the number 9, and he scored a insane, powerful striker goal.
Yeah.
Chelsea, are you listening? You can sign him if you want to. We need striker backup. So I don't know which player from West Ham would you think is the FPL player to own. I know who you're gonna say.
Who am I gonna say?
He starts with a bow and ends with an N.
His name is similar to an aeroplane.
Differential captain this week. Bowen triple captain against Luton.
You know what? Some nut job out there triple captain Matty Cash and got points for it.
Bowen may be playing Luton, but after that he's got City, Liverpool, squeeze in Sheffield, but then he's also got Newcastle.
Yeah.
So that's a bad run for West Ham. So if they're still top of the table, then I'll be very impressed. But I'm not bringing in him just for the Luton game.
No. This is why I say he's a one to watch. I think after the game week against Newcastle, his fixture run is ridiculous, and I think you keep him for that week after the Newcastle game.
Quick mention: Ward-Prowse. He's proven to be a reliable asset. He is ever since he's gotten to the team, he hasn't stopped getting points.
Yeah, he finally got his goal as well for West Ham, which was nice.
So that's two games he played, Chelsea and Brighton, and he's returned in both games, 2 assists and a goal. He is on fire in the midfield over there. Brilliant buy.
If anyone remembers our wildcard draft that we did last week, one of the goalkeepers that I said you should bring in was Areola. And just for perspective's sake, Areola made 9 saves this weekend. 9. Man got 5 points for conceding goals. Yeah, that's... Imagine there was a clean sheet there. So I definitely think if you have the money for it as well, he's a player. If you're not sure what you're doing with your goalkeeper, if your goalkeeper situation is up in arms, if you need money, maybe you've got a 5.5 Edison and you want to look for an alternative, I think Areola is also...
I think you need to find a goalkeeper to trade with him. So because the next few fixtures are bad, so you get a backup goalkeeper and you go, okay, you're playing City, you're playing Liverpool, bring in someone else and bench him.
Yeah,
so you got to have a decent goalkeeper to trade with him, not Onana.
Yeah. No. Oh dear.
Sorry. we talk about that now?
I have
Onana. We talk about United.
Yeah, let's segue into United. Let's talk about the train smash that turned out to be beneficial, I guess. United was the team that surprised me the most this game week. So this works well. It seemed like the Old Trafford of old, United of old, when they came back from a 2-0 5-minute entry from Nottingham. Okay. United isn't the most welcomed of clubs among this podcast purely because we are Chelsea fans. So there may or may not have been laughing emojis when they conceded 2 goals within 5 minutes. But I mean, fair play, man. United came back to win 3-2. There's something that happened, which is why I think I'm going to keep both United assets of Bruno Fernandes and Rashford.
So hold on, you keeping Bruno and Rashford. I sold Bruno and I regret it because Bruno's creative numbers are off the chart. He, as a captain, pulled them back into that game. He was amazing. There's this one clip of like Bruno literally falling on the floor, getting tackled, getting up again, falling, getting up again, and then going towards goal. Like he was relentless. And I'm sad that I don't have him, but I still believe in Rashford's ability to hold big at some point.
Yeah.
But I do think Bruno and penalties was the better pick. So you saying if you have both, keep them, even though they're playing Arsenal?
Well, look, it depends on your team because for those of you who don't know yet, I'm one of the few that still have all of those 4 core fielders that was in the template pick. So I've still got the Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Saka, and Martinelli. So I'm not going to take minus points to get rid of more than one midfielder this week. So
who's that midfielder?
So
out of
for
the 4?
me, I would get rid of Martinelli out of the 4 because I think he's been involved in less goal involvements and he's also not done as much as the others. Rashford's still trying, although he's not getting rewarded. He's still doing something.
But he's on the left. He played on the left.
Yeah, and he's moved to his wing, which is where he popped off last season. Between Martinelli and Saka, it's got to be Saka. There was a penalty. He took it. So he's still on penalty duties. I don't know what happened with Odegaard. Maybe he needed motivation. So between the 2 or between the 4, I'm getting rid of Martinelli. So if you have 2 United assets still, I think you keep them. If you don't, don't buy one. Keep just, you know what I mean?
Here's a counter to your get rid of Martinelli. Martinelli as an FPL asset is better when Jesus plays. And Gabriel Jesus is back now. So is this the week against United with Gabriel on the field that Martinelli pops off? I'm sorry, I don't mean to to add a conundrum to your ideas, but it's something to think about. Jesus is back, which means Martinelli normally scores more consistent points when he has a focal point to be able to run off the wings and attack off. So just to consider. Yeah.
No, for sure. But I want to bring in Maddison. I really want to get in Maddison this game week. I don't think I can afford another game week without Maddison. So out of my 4, who do you give up for Maddison? I'm not going to get rid of Mbeumo. I'll tell you that now for free. He's going to stay in my team. And it's not going to be Fernandes. And it's not going to be Rashford. So it's between Saka and Martinelli. So
I'm not selling Saka, Starboy.
Exactly.
He's FPL gold.
That's so exactly why Martinelli.
Your choices are Rashford
or Martinelli.
Martinelli, because Bruno 8.5 with the creative numbers and being on pens is too good an opportunity. So right now, yes, Martinelli is the pick. You are right. You're doing the right thing.
But
you are Nate the Great.
But it is, but it is something to be mindful of. Your point is valid. You need to think about, does he pop off?
But speaking about Spurs, okay, they beat Bournemouth. Okay, they beat United. They are looking really good. Okay, but then let's be realistic. It's still Spurs. They just lost against Fulham on penalties in the League Cup.
In the Karrupan.
So they're out of another cup that they can't win. But the good news is that a lot of players didn't start. Son, Maddison, Kuleveski, they all didn't start the game. They came from the bench. Udogi, Basuma, Vicario, and Romero didn't even play at all. Okay, they lost the game, so he did play a weaker team. To me, that smells of I care about the league more, and if you care about the league more for FPL players, that's good.
Yeah,
right. So
Pochettino did the same thing, though. Hey, did you see the Chelsea game against Wimbledon?
Yeah, he did. But I was worried. I didn't see the game. Nobody saw the game.
Yeah, that was annoying, but it's fine. Chelsea admin team. It's on YouTube, by the way. I saw the admins posted it on the Chelsea page, the extended highlights, so at least there's something to watch. But that being said, Pochettino seems to also be going for the league because Jackson, Enzo, Caicedo, Chilwell, Gusto, they were all rested.
Gusto did come on.
Yeah, he came on later.
Colwell got an injury, which is important. But before we move on from Spurs, Maddison is the pick. Everybody should be bringing him in.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I think if you don't have him, this is the game week to bring him in. I think we've given him enough time to prove himself. We can see by his involvement how important he is. We can see by the manager how he trusts him and how he wants him to play. We can hear by the pundits and the broadcast team and the interviewers how they think he's involved all the time and he's the new number 10 for Spurs. And who cares about Harry Kane? So
I'm with you for the next 2 games, Burnley and Sheffield. But then Arsenal, Liverpool.
But now we're thinking about higher top teams, and we're worried about the Liverpool and Arsenals. But who does it for Spurs if it's not Maddison? If Spurs score a goal,
Okay,
isn't he involved?
okay, but and I was just playing devil advocate because think about this: how is Arsenal's defense? Are they good? They're conceding goals. How's Liverpool's defense? Are they good? They're conceding goals. So it's not as if
Arsenal's
Arsenal and
conceding
Liverpool.
goals because Arteta doesn't want to reward Premier League managers for holding on to Gabriel 4 bloody weeks. That's why they
You
concede.
not only that, you're also playing Thomas Partey at right back.
They're having a
So
party at right back. I'll tell you what. Yeah. They're
so
conceding.
so
They're not. It's not solid. Other than Allison and Ramsdale, who are keeping. If Allison and Ramsdale did not play for those teams, they would be conceding 2 to 3 goals every match. 100%.
so Maddison is the pick. His price is now sitting at 7.7, so he's already risen by 0.2, but you're still okay bringing him in.
Yeah, you have to. That's why I'm getting
What's
Martinelli.
what's the swing on difference on Martinelli? Like how much more money do you need?
Well,
'Cause he hasn't
Martinelli,
gone up.
no, Martinelli is just 8 mil flat. So I'll have the
So
money for it regardless.
you're actually getting some money by selling
Yeah.
Martinelli for 8 for
So
Madison at
the
7.6.
0.1 rise doesn't affect me too much. It shouldn't affect
Okay.
many people if they have Martinelli anyway. So
Yeah, so Madison is the pick. I agree with you 100%. I would just like to say for Spurs, I'm keeping an eye on Udogi. Spurs defense, I thought they were going to be all out attack, but their defense is looking very solid after that first game. They rested some of those defenders. Basuma is making the defenders look better, and he's giving Madison more room to run forward. So because Basuma is doing so well as the CDM, he's making them defensively better and attacking more creative. So I think Udogi at 4.6 now is a pick. Though if you watch the game, this there was a very poor mistake by the goalkeeper. So even though Vicario, is decent, there can be some mistakes coming in, but I still think Udogi's the one. So just 4.6 million for a decent defender with good fixtures. Maybe?
So what if you
Is he
don't have
worth?
Udogi or Gusto? Who do you bring in between the two of them?
Udogi long term, because out of the next 8 fixtures, 6 of them are very good.
And you go Gusto now for this first next 4 weeks or
But
so.
Gusto, the problem is with Gusto is that when James comes back, he's just bench.
Yeah.
He's not really an integral part. So if you're looking for that fourth or fifth defender that's just sitting on your bench and you're bringing in to replace people with bad fixtures, Gusto, right now. But if you're looking for a cheaper defender to be part of your core 3 at the back defense in FPL, and just by the way, for those who don't know, most people are playing 3-5-2, a formation, because the midfield is so stacked.
Yeah.
And there's not. So if you're playing 3-5-2, Udogi, I think, is a really good third option as a defender. Gusto is a fourth option as a defender.
Unless you're a complete psychopath like Mike over here and plays a 4-4-2 and still makes 70 points, then you should play a 3-5-2.
That's because I accidentally had Gabriel and all sorts of things from the beginning of the season. It's a long story. I think we'll keep that story for reflection. Next week we should do a podcast, reflections on a poor start
on the selection.
There we go. Reflection on the selection. We'll do that next week.
Nobody claim
that. Copyright. I don't think there's much to say about Everton, Wolves, Brentford, Palace. Well, there's not much to say about Everton, Wolves, and Palace. There's a lot to say about Brentford because we spoke about Salah going out. You have Buemo. The people that I'm trying to chase has Buemo. Brentford and everybody's mother has Mbuemo. I'm going to have to get Mbuemo, right? His fixtures are good. He's on penalties. He's on fire, even though his price has gone up by 0.3, so he's now 6.8 million. Salah to Mbuemo, would you agree with my move there?
What's your team? I'll pull it up quickly. For the people that are listening to the podcast, we'll read it out. I'm just going to worry about midfield. Unless you've made changes as it stands, Salah.
No changes. Yeah.
So it's Salah, Saka, Maddison, Rashford, and
Anderson is the bench.
Anderson is just bench fodder. Yeah. What do you have in your bank?
I have point. I have 0.4.
You see, Rashford, Saka, Maddison, you keeping. I would, over the long term, I would downgrade Salah to Mbeumo, and then I have funds to upgrade Anderson. Then you can play 5. That's what I would do.
If only I didn't have 3 Chelsea assets that we're bringing in Sterling. We'll talk about him in a second. But yeah, you are right. It leaves me space for Bowens. It leaves me space for Fodens. It leaves me space for Diaz. I can be
Jota.
honestly, I'll bring in
Jota's
anybody I want to. So it's decent. But I still have this last minute hope that Salah's gonna come through. But I don't know. But that's my transfer I'm mulling over now.
So I'll have to see how I free up funds for Sterling. It's probably going to end up having to be that Jackson move, as I already also have the assets that you have. You have Gusto and Chilwell. I brought in Gusto because of that price rise, and I think he's a good asset to have. So I'll take -4 this week to put Maddison in, but then I'll have to see what I want to do for the Jackson and Sterling move. I don't know what
Are you
you want to do.
seriously considering swapping Jackson for Sterling?
It's just Sterling is more of a threat. So
And he's consistent. He's gonna start every game.
he's experienced.
He's leader. He's outright said he wants goals. He's on fire. He's got good fixtures. I agree, but I think because I made the move to Jackson, there's other areas of my field. Like it depends on your team. Like I have a Salah problem. It's not a problem. It's a conundrum. I have Saliba in defense, where I feel Arsenal's defense has shown me that they're not the same defensive unit as they were last season. So I don't think I need a Saliba. I don't think Ramsdale is a good pick either. So I want to move Ramsdale or Saliba, off. And that's why I was saying to you off the pod. We were looking at the prices, and I was like, Saliba's 5.2. I was like, that's amazing. That's a big price. And the reason why I said that was because for me, selling Saliba now means that I'm gonna get at least 1.1 out of him.
Yeah.
Because I bought him for 5, and if I sell him at 5.2, I'm only gonna get 5.1 for him. That's still something, right? So that means I made some money on that move. So back to Chelsea, like I don't know if I would, since I've invested in Jackson, I'm gonna sit on him and I'm gonna see. Got his first goal last week. He's 7.1. He's got good fixtures. So just for those who don't know, Chelsea are playing on Saturday, and they are playing against drumroll Nottingham Forest, who could easily. Okay. There's this guy from Nottingham Forest. His name is Awaniyi. He's fire. He's such a strong, powerful player. I'm not bringing him in for FPL because I don't trust him that much. At 6.5, he's quite highly priced. And he's got City coming up sometime soon. But between City and Chelsea, he has Burnley. So he's a really good player. And for the Chelsea match, I would keep an eye on him. We had an argument before the game about whether Foden starts or not. And you put him in your team. Did you have Foden? No, you don't have Foden. But you pegged him as a good pick for the wildcard team. And I said, I don't agree. And we were both right and we were both wrong.
Yeah, he didn't start, but he got points. So
he didn't start. He got points, and I think he would have started if he wasn't sick. So I would trade carefully. But Rodrigo, oh my gosh, popping up with a winner.
Don't fall for it. Pep roulette.
Yeah, but Rodrigo, like,
is he
his
fixed?
price is
He's stuck in the team.
He's 5.7.
Yeah, but how often is he going to do that? Twice in 3 game weeks, so I don't know. Quite often.
He's more than 50%, bro. He's got 23 plus 3, 26 points in 3 game weeks. He's only 5.7. He's played 90 minutes every game, and his next 3 fixtures are Fulham, West Ham, Forest, and then Wolves. Now, if you didn't have the money for Foden and you wanted to pump out your midfield, and you were selling Salah. I don't know who I'm talking about.
Or maybe you should get Anderson out and putting fucking what's his name, Rodri.
Yeah. So just it's important to think about City assets in the next 3 game weeks. I don't know about going Foden. I don't know how much I trust Pep Roulette, but I do think that if you were gonna go on them, now is a good time. But I'll talk about that after the captain pick as well. But anybody else from Man City that you think is worth punting on
Um,
for FPL
no, I'd say it's Alvarez, Haaland, Rodrigo.
and Foden?
Yeah, I don't think Grealish
Okay.
is doing anything special. Look, he's doing what he's doing, but it's not like he's involved. I don't know. He keeps falling over.
In my notes, I wrote Edison concedes, and then I wrote silly Walker, but my brain read it. Edison concedes silly wanker.
He is a silly wanker. Why are you conceding for us, man?
Anyways, okay, let's segue this into captain picks because we're talking about Haaland. I just mentioned Haaland versus Fulham. Fulham have played in midweek. They beat Spurs on penalties, okay? Which means there was a little bit of extra game time there. They will be tired. They've got one of the weakest defenses in the league right now. Why shouldn't people captain Haaland?
Because you want to try and be a hero.
I need a hero.
It's Fulham at home. It's no real reason not to captain Haaland. Unless you're trying to chase points, you captain someone else.
Who are you captaining outside of Haaland?
If I'm chasing points.
Yeah.
Mbuemo.
Considering any player, not ones only that you have. Mbuemo, who else? Sterling? Sterling versus Forest?
Sterling, Mbuemo. If you're really brave, you could say Bruno Fernandes.
Yo, that's a hot pick. This place just got hot in here.
Hey, where's the heater? Turn it off, man. Yes. Look, I've just called him Fernandes. If Fernandes scores, you all better flip and subscribe. There's not many differentials this game week because it's kind of tricky, but I'd say Sterling definitely, obviously Haaland and Mbuemo, and then if you got big rocks, you go for Fernandes.
Yo, I think this antibiotics is affecting you there, bro. Anyways, so now captain wise, I think you're gonna put a poll up for us, but I'm assuming it's gonna be Haaland.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now to sum up everything we've spoken about today, what is your buy, sell, and hold? We'll do our buys first. Right. So what's your buy?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another segment of Buy, Sell, Hold. We need like a little intro theme song to go with it so people know.
You just put the
I could just do that every time as well. I'm just thinking, I actually put this in my notes. I'm just checking on my phone quickly. So what I was going to post for a captaincy poll for this week was going to be Haaland against Fulham, Sterling against Forest, Bowen against Luton, or Mbeumo against Bournemouth. So those
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
But then we're gonna add a fifth one.
Yeah.
You gotta put Bruno
versus Arsenal away on a Monday. Or is it Sunday? Sunday. Away on Sunday. The last game of the weekend. Your captain plays against Arsenal.
Before we talk about our buy, sell, hold, I just want to tell you guys 2 things about this game that's coming up. This game against one thing. Man United have picked up just 6 points out of their 30 points in their last 10 visits to London and are winless in their last 5. Man United's current record in London is poor, but Rashford loves scoring against Arsenal.
Well, it's all the more reason. It's all the more reason to captain Bruno Fernandes, isn't it? No, I'm kidding. If you are desperate, captain one of the Manchester United assets.
To add to why you should captain Haaland, for those out there who are confused about captaining, just captain Haaland. And I'll tell you why. I'll give you something. Another stat. Fulham have lost their last 9 away games against Manchester City by an aggregate of 27 to 2 goals. In their last 9 games, Man City have scored 27 goals against Fulham, and Fulham have only replied with 2. If you were putting money on something happening, you would put money on Man City scoring at least a good 3 goals and conceding 0.
Yeah.
Captain Ireland is what I would say.
Or Captain Edison.
But let's go to buy, sell, hold. Oh no, come on. Hey, he's a silly wanker. Captain Edison. He's a silly wanker.
Buy, sell, hold for me this week. Let me pull it up. We've
Give me
actually
your
gotten,
buy. Just start with your buy.
We've gotten actually quite good at these. I like it. For me this week, my buy is going to be Maddison.
Brilliant.
We can all agree with that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you got ahead of it. Yeah, I'm the master, Mikyle. Look at me. I said it. No, it's go ahead. Go ahead. Have your say.
Thank you very much. And I was going to say exactly the same thing. You're on the same wavelength here. Because the thing is, it makes me happy when you say you want to buy a player
that you bought 2 weeks ago.
So it was touch and go, with that injury. I was brave. Old Mike would have sold Maddison as soon as he got that injury. But new Mike is learning from Nate the Great.
New Mike saw the light.
4 times winner of our brilliant FPL group in a row. So because I learned from him, be calm.
Oh, that's it. Patience is the best thing you could have in this game.
And so, yes, I think Maddison is a good buy, but I already gave him. Mine is, and this should make you happy, if I am going to be selling Salah, Mbeumo.
Yeah.
Because the fixtures are too good and everybody that I'm trying to compete with has him in their team. And I've clawed my way back into being in contention in the top, which means that I've got to start matching players, and something we can talk about in the break as well. I think next game week, when there's no international break, we should talk about some strategies. One of them is going to be how many points you spend versus matching your opponents in your mini leagues and stuff. But definitely is my buy.
We'll definitely have more content coming out next week because there's not much FPL to talk about during the break. So we'll get to do a bit of an in-depth deep dive into some things over the next 2 weeks leading up to game week 5. Yeah, we're moving through these game weeks.
So you buying Maddison, I say buy Mbeumo if you don't have him. Who are you going to sell?
Martinelli would coexist, as I am obviously replacing him for Maddison. We spoke about it a bit earlier as well. Out of all the core midfielders that are around in the template picks, Martinelli has been doing the least work. So he's probably the obvious sell to freshen up the midfield.
And I would say sell Saliba, because I've spoken earlier about this. I don't rate their defense. He's gone up by 0.1 again, so he's 5.2, which means he's a nice selling point.
Yeah.
I'm selling Saliba if I can, but that means taking minus points if I'm sorting out midfield and defense. So I would sell Saliba because I don't believe in Arsenal's ability to defend. Not their ability to win games, not their ability to score goals. I believe in that. That's why I have Saka. But I don't believe in their ability to keep clean sheets.
Yeah.
Whatever's happening with Gabriel, I don't know. They need to sort that out. Okay, and what about? I'll start with my hold.
Yeah, who you holding? Which hand are you holding this week?
Oh, I'm holding his hand because he's been fire from game week 1. He was in everybody's template teams. We've spoken at length about selling or not buying Brighton assets. But we don't have Estupinan because he's going to keep clean sheets. We have Estupinan from Brighton because he's going to get attacking returns. Now, go and watch. Okay, guys, honestly, go watch the highlights of the West Ham game and Brighton game. I've never seen a game where how did Brighton lose that game? Because they were still good and they still lost because West Ham were just fire. Okay? Estupinan, if you just show the highlights of that game, you will think Estupinan is a winger / striker. Okay? Just like Cash. He was in the box taking shots. I saw him there more often in the highlights than anything else. keep Estupinan.
Mm.
You have him, and fixtures are bad, and Brighton concede goals. I don't care. You hold him, and you agree with that, Nate?
Yeah, I wouldn't make an effort to bring him in if you don't have him, but there's no point in getting rid of him because he's going to start, he's going to play, and he might return. So there's no real reason to get rid of him yet.
And what's your hold?
It's the player that you got rid of. I'm saying we hold Bruno Fernandes. I don't think you get rid of him too quickly this game week if you still have him. I don't even think you get rid of him for Maddison. I think he is going to come into his own and he's going to start developing more of an attacking presence for United this season, as he should have been originally. But with Mount injured, he has that freedom again. So I think you keep him for a while. And this performance against Arsenal will tell you if he's justified in keeping him.
I agree with you because he was the reason Man United won that game.
Yeah, they came
Bruno
back 100%.
Fernandes was on fire. He held that captain armband really well. Just hope he doesn't get like silly red card or something because he's a bit fiery, that guy. But no, he's creative numbers are off the charts.
On that though, every time I watch him play, I'm actually nervous. Like I'm actually nervous that he gets a sending off or a yellow card because it's just like, please, Bruno, just walk away. Just walk. Don't lift your hand. Just walk away. It's fine. Just well, is what it is, eh? The game's the game.
He just has that type of face where he's just annoyed, and he looks easily annoyed.
It's like a Paqueta from West Ham. Same kind of face. Just wants to ruin someone's day. Anyway.
Perfect. Well, did you hear that? That's the added time whistle. So that means that we've just run out of time and added time.
Oh, it didn't. It's gone to penalties, eh? Next time we'll go to penalties.
Dear. No. I don't know everyone's missing penalties these days. Let's not talk about missing penalties and Sanchez from Spurs.
Touch some wood. You guys listening, find a piece of wood. Go find a tree. Let's hope Haaland doesn't miss a penalty this weekend again. Because I know probably like 90% of managers are going to captain him. Yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Nate the Great, for suffering through being a little sick.
Anything for the pod day. Anything.
We will be back next week with a really great pod where we discuss some things we haven't had time to talk about, which is strategy for a lot of people who are learning and are new to playing. So, and even if you have been playing for a long time, it's always good to keep up to date with what type of strategies people are using. So it's going to be great.
Yeah. Cool. Looking forward to it. All right. Have a great week. Good luck with Gaming 4. May the odds be ever in your favor. Captain Bruno Fernandes.